This is Rock. We're going to look at the Trimrange function. So what this does, I'll be able to show it to you better than I'll be able to explain it. Let's start on this left side with the blue field by putting in some numbers. I'm going to say rand between 1 and 99. And then I'm going to copy that to the right and down. I'm going to copy those and paste the values. Okay, so now what we have is a bunch of numbers in here. Okay, over here on the right, I'm going to use the Trimrange function. And what this is going to do is allow me to choose a range that will be trimmed as it meets certain criteria. There are also arguments for row trim mode and column trim mode, which include none, trim the leading rows, trim trailing rows, or both. Both is the default. And the row trim mode and column trim mode have the same 4 options, 0 through 3. I'm going to ignore those. They are a bit self-explanatory, but I'm going to go ahead and show you what Trimrange does. So if I hit enter, it brings in this whole range that I've got on the left into the green field on the right. Let me show you what happens though as I start to delete some of these on the left. I'm going to delete this whole right column of the blue field on the left. And as I do that, you see that the right column on the green field on the right has also disappeared, which makes sense. But what is a little different is that if I click back in this cell that has the Trimrange function in it, you can see this blue outline of the range that it's looking at. You see how it's excluding that last column. So it has trimmed that range off because it's not needed. If I just delete ones in the middle, you'll see that they now show as zeros. Anywhere where I delete numbers, it's just leaving them as zeros. But if I delete these two on the bottom, when it deletes it, as I click in here again, this trim range shows me that it's only creating a range that is necessary. All right, so what's the big deal with this? This is a very small set of data, but could be used for a huge amount of data. So this can save you a lot of space as you've got one set of data on one sheet or in one file, and then you're copying it through Trimrange into another sheet or another file. If it's only using the rows and columns that have data in them, then that means how much space it takes up will be reduced. That's what Trimrange is trying to do for you. Note that it, by default, also will reduce the number of rows or columns used at the beginning of the row or columns. Watch if I delete on the left, this left column. It moved everything to the left. So you see how 49 is now in the leftmost column, whereas this one over here, it's empty. So it trimmed the column off of the leftmost side of the field. But if I do the same thing for a row, if I delete that, the 4 moved up into the top leftmost corner, and this blue box around what's being used, this is 136 cells, whereas over here we've got 10 by 20, which is 200. It's got a smaller footprint in Excel, which is going to save you space, especially, as I said, with large data sets. So that is Trimrange. Next, we're going to look at Make Array. Don't miss that one. See you then.